I'm Chris Hansen. Today we're going to be smoking some ribs on the Weber Smoky Mountain. Alright, so right now we have a rack of ribs. It's St. Louis cut spare ribs. Very good, very delicious. We're going to season it. We're going to prep it. We're going to get everything ready to go on the Weber Smoky Mountain. First things first, I'm probably going to want to trim off a little bit of this fat, not too much. One thing I am going to want to do is I'm going to want to remove this membrane on the back. Hey, baby. You helping Dada? I'm going to remove this membrane. Sometimes it comes off nice and easy. Other times it could be a struggle. But this makes for what I believe to be a more tender. It's not as chewy. There we go. Yeah, so you kind of want to start it with a sharp edge. And you just keep working it with a paper towel. And it comes off pretty easy. Now we're going to trim a little of this fat off. We got a nice piece of fat in the front. You see all this fat, baby? Too much fat, right?
I have Elsa.
Yes, you do have Elsa.
And the paper.
Yeah. Look at that fat coming right off. That's good. You can see here there's some good marbling in the meat. That's good.
Oh, no.
I'm just going to leave
I see
a little bit more off. Not too bad. A lot of fat's just going to melt and render right into the meat. All right. So what I'm going to use now is this rub I used on a pork butt. I made some pulled pork not too long ago. This is Bad Brian and it's butt rub. Haven't tried it on ribs yet.
I have Elsa.
Yes, you do have Elsa.
I have Elsa. I have two. I have two.
Nice chair.
There we go. Nice little coat.
Hello.
Just rub it in. Whoa. Does that look good, baby? What's Dad gonna do with the meat? From barbecue?
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna go outside. We're gonna fire up the Weber Smoky Mountain, and we're gonna let this meat here just kind of soak in all the seasoning, and we'll be able to throw it on in no time. All right, so now it's time to prep the Weber Smoky Mountain. This is the base of the Smoky Mountain. It has this is the base. This is the fire ring right here. This is how I set up my charcoal. Put the briquettes off to the side. I got my my chimney ready over here already. They're ready to go in. I'm just going to dump them right in the middle. There you go, nice and easy. So now that's all ready. I got some wood I'm going to throw on. Today I'm using some cherry and some pecan wood. This is going to give it a nice smoky smoke flavor. Nothing too overpowering. Just going to throw it off to the side a little bit. All right. All right, so now you're going to put the middle part on. The middle part consists of this drum, which has a water pan inside of it. There we go. So it is normally pretty easy. Anyway, so I got a water dish in there. Um, that's how Weber designed their smoking here. We got one rack and two racks. So basically, we got the fire at the bottom. Fire's gonna come up along the sides. The hottest point's gonna be the top. The bottom rack, I'm not using today. I'm just gonna use the top rack for the ribs. All right. So right now, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait until this comes up to temp. Up to temp is about 225 to 275. That's what I like to do my smoking on, for ribs at least. It's not going to take too long. The Weber has 3 dampers at the bottom for heat control. Once it gets up towards the 200 mark, I'm going to close the dampers up a little bit to try to slow down the flame. Then once, you know, it gets to that range, it kind of controls itself, which is really awesome. So, something I neglected to talk about, my daughter sidetracked me, but when you're doing seasoning the ribs, you could season it with anything. I just used that rub because I used it once before, and it came out really good with a pork butt. It also has no MSG, that one rub, which I like, because MSG could give a false smoke ring around the meat. But you could season it with anything. You could use a binder also. I didn't use a binder at all. You could use anything for a binder, any kind of seasoning. There's so much you could do with ribs. It's such a great meat to work with. I love it. My family loves it. Everyone who I make it for loves it. I always do something different. It's never the same. It normally takes about 5 to 6 hours to cook, depending on the size of the rack. Some is slower, some is faster, depending on the size, depending on the temp you're running. But we're going to time it. We're going to see how long it takes today. I think it's about 11 o'clock right now. I'll check right before we put it on. And we'll go. All right, so right now we're up around 240. We're still climbing. It's climbing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close up the dampers a little bit to help regulate the heat. I don't want it to get too hot. It's still going to get hot though. So there's 3 dampers. I'm going to adjust all of them for now. I want it to kind of regulate. So let's see what we got here. Everything is looking good so far. What I want to do is I'm just going to clean off the top piece. All right. I'll put our rack on. I did end up trimming this a little bit more than what you saw. Cover it. That's it. All right. So I'm going to be checking on this every 10-20 minutes until the heat kind of stabilizes. Then after that, we should be good to go. We're about 1 hour into cooking. I haven't checked on it yet. Let's see if we can see the temp here. All right, so it's reading at about 250. It did go up to about close to a little over 275, so I had to close a couple of them down. I only have one open right now, so it's burning good at that temp. I'm gonna check it out, see what we got. All right. This is coming out very, very nice looking. Yeah. It's forming a nice little bark. It's not there yet, as you can see. You can put your finger on it and it comes up like that. That means it hasn't fully set. So, it's probably going to take a little while longer. We're going to check on it about a half hour to an hour and see where the bark is at. And decide what we do from there. But it's looking really good and it's smelling really good too. Cherry smoke and that pecan, it's going throughout my whole neighborhood and probably driving people crazy. I don't know, but let's see what happens in about an hour. 5 after 1. So this has been on since 11. As you can see, hopefully, I'm not sure if the video is picking it up, but we're still getting some good smoke coming off. Let's see what we're at. We're at about the 275 mark. So the temperature went up a little bit. I'm thinking maybe one of the wood chunks maybe just caught, or I'm not too sure, but maybe that's why we're getting some smoke and the temperature rise. But it's still in a good zone and I'm happy with it. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah, looks good. Looks really good. Oh, it smells delicious too. All right, so we are looking good. We got a nice. All right, the bark is taken up nicely. It's definitely coming along. That smells so delicious. I should have made 2 racks. All right, so I'm gonna check back in about a half hour, and yeah, we're getting a lot of smoke. I'm guessing that's one of the woodchucks maybe finally caught. Who knows? But check back in about a half hour, see what the story is, and take it from there. All right, guys, it's 2 o'clock. It's been cooking for what, 3 hours? Not bad, not bad. Check it out. Let's see what the temp was at. Was right about 250. Wow, it's looking really good. Really, really good. Oh, the bark definitely is nice and oh, beautiful. All right, at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz it a little. Today I'm using pineapple juice. It's got a little pineapple juice. I'm just going to spritz a little. Now at this point, the rub is cooked on. If I would have spritzed it earlier, I would have been knocking it off. Now this is going to be good, a little flavor, a little moisture going back into the meat. This is definitely going to be some good ribs. You can see over there, it's receding off the bone already. 3 hours. I think this might be a 2 more hours. We'll see though. We might have to go 3, but it's looking very, very good. So what I'm gonna do is about every half hour now, I'm gonna come out here, spritz it, see how it's looking. But it's definitely cooking good. I think we're on track to have some beautiful, delicious ribs tonight. All right, guys, it's 3 o'clock. Another hour went by. I'm gonna check on it. We're doing about 225. Very good, very good. Whoa, look at that. Oof, that looks good. It smells delicious. Wow. Wow, you can see a lot of bones starting to show. That bark. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. All right, right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it to see how far along in the cook we are. It looks good. What I'm going to do is slide the tongs under about halfway. I'm going to pick it up. If it falls down like it's going to break off, that means it's good. If it just hangs there, it needs more time. Let's see. All right, needs some more time. You can see it wants to break, but needs some more time. No problem. It's only 3 o'clock, so that's fine by me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spritz it again. Nice. Oh, these are going to be so good tonight. Whenever I do one, I always regret not getting another one. It's just so good. But, alright guys. We'll check back in a little while and see where we're at. The 5-hour marker. I thought these ribs were going to be done in 5. It's about 250. Cooking at 250. Let's see if they are done. Oof, they look beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. That looks so good. Wow. All right, let's give it a test. See how they hang. Something tells me they're ready. Smells delicious. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's starting to break. I can't even pick them up. I can't even pick them up. They're starting to break. They are done. You know, ribs and chicken, stuff you do so often, you don't really got to test the temperature. You know when it's ready. That tells me it's ready. I will use a thermometer on roast, brisket, pork shoulder, pork butts, you know. But with the ribs, the hang test, the passed, it's ready. Time to come off. But actually, before they come off, I'm going to sauce them. I'm going to put 1 thin coat of sauce on there. Before I do that, I got a little left, little pineapple left in my spray bottle. It's going to sweeten it up just a tad. Oh, ribs are so good. You could do so many different things to ribs, different rubs, different sauces. Go for different flavors. It's just, you know, they're a home run. But I'll be right back with the sauce. Alright, so we're going to sauce them up real fast. You know, there's so many different methods to cook these ribs too. So many different methods. You could use, you know, different temps. You could wrap them in tin foil, butcher paper. I've done tin foil before. I use that from time to time. Never tried the butcher paper. That's something I need to try out. But there's so many different things you could do, so many different flavors. Ribs are just so delicious and so fun. Alright, so you see I'm just doing a real thin coat, real thin. Try to get all the excess off. That's gonna go for, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes. That's all it needs really. And we'll see what they look like. Alright, so the ribs are off the grill. They cooled down for a little while, probably about 5-10 minutes. I'm really antsy to get into them, so I'm not going to let them sit too long, even though you can, and you probably should. But I'm going to cut into them, see what we got here. Put these over. Whoa. All right, let's see. Just going to cut in half. That off to the side. I always like to cut it from the bottom. I got a better view of what's going on. All right, let's see what we got. So, you could see, it has nice smoke ring up here. Real nice smoke ring. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's the juice is coming out. Wow. And I'm gonna give it a shot. See what we got. All right. Here we go. Wow. These are good. These are really good. Wow. Pulls right off the bone. Wow. Home run. Home run. All right. So, let's do a little recap. What did we do? What time did we put them on? About 11. All right. So before we put them on, we seasoned them. Now, the only thing we put on, we didn't use a binder, even though you can. We didn't use a binder. The only thing we used was Bad Brian's butt rub. Now, that rub I used once before on, I did pulled pork. I did a pork butt. And let me tell you, it was delicious then. So I always figured, hey, I got to try it on ribs. Thank God I did, because you know what? This is a home run. And I know my wife and daughter are going to love it. So we season them. After we season them, we let them sit. We let them absorb some of that seasoning. We got the smoker ready. The Weber Smoky Mountain. That's an 18-inch. That's the medium size. There's 3 sizes. We got the smoker ready. We used briquettes. What were they? Royal Oak briquettes. We used the Royal Oak briquettes. Then once that was ready, it came up to temp. We put them on. They cooked for what, 5 hours? I thought it was going to be 5 hours because the ribs, it wasn't a huge rack. It wasn't big, fat, meaty rack. It was decent size, and it cooked for 5 hours. It stayed between 225 and 275. It was perfect. The Weber, still going strong. That thing, that thing is awesome. I know growing up, my mother used to like the crock pot, when I was, you just set it and forget it. She would go to work and turn it on in the morning. But let me tell you something. This is sort of like that, so you don't got to do anything. So all we did, we checked it every hour. Once we established a nice bark on the ribs, we started spritzing it. You could use you could use whatever for a spritz. All different juices. You could use water, helps keep it a little moist. But you don't want to do it before the bark is established, because you're going to wash it away and there's no point. So anyway, after we did that, it cooked for 5 hours, and here we are, about to eat dinner.